Hi, this is Dot Porter with the Special Collection Center at the University of Pennsylvania, and I am here with Mitch Frost. He is our scholar in residence at the Schoenberg Institute for Manuscript Studies, and you can see here we have a collection of manuscripts. These are a little bit different from the other manuscripts we have looked at up till now, so I'm going to turn it over to Mitch, and he's going to tell us more about this collection.
Yes, thanks, Dot. What we have here is the University of Pennsylvania Manuscript Collection 624, which is a collection of George Macartney's papers. He was an 18th century British colonial governor and administrator in the Caribbean and in India. This came to pen in a really fascinating way. We got it in 1954 as part of a hodgepodge lot of letters that were wrapped in the stationery of a rag paper company from New Hampshire. And we speculate that this assorted lot of Macartney's papers was once destined to be turned into pulp and disappear, and we're lucky to have it here. I've decided to bring out today a piece of the collection. We have here our petitions. We have 22 boxes worth of Macartney's papers, but I'm particularly interested in petitions as a legal historian, given what they can tell us about everyday life, the lived experience of British imperialism, and the sort of direct interaction between everyday people and the state. So I thought I'd also make a few points about the nature of early modern manuscripts and what we can tell about scribal culture in them. So first up, I have a nice petition from 1784, which is, unlike a lot of the petitions in the collection, an original, which was written to Macartney from a series of East India Company merchants at Bangalore, asking for special privileges in the area. You can see this one has a nice variety of signatures appended to this original. This would have been delivered. You can see the fold lines, and then the address leaf on the back is to Macartney himself. It would have been delivered to him and considered by the council. So many of these names are of prominent European merchants in the area, and you can clearly see their individuality in these signatures. This is really what we think of as people writing a petition, getting together, and sending it to whoever is in power. In contrast, although it looks very similar, I have another petition from 1782. This one, also signed by a variety of East India Company merchants and others. However, this one looks a bit different. It's a copy of the original. And most of the petitions in this collection are secretarial or scribal copies. That is, if you took a look at this, you would notice that all the signatures are fairly uniform, done by a scribe from the original, with the exception of these very nice Armenian merchant signatures at the bottom, which may have been done by an Armenian scribal official or even possibly by the Armenian merchants in question themselves. I think one of the things we often get the impression of manuscripts being the original or the authentic article, and looking at them critically, you can see that this was probably one of many copies of the original petition, which would have been circulated amongst government officials in Madras. So obviously, this entire list of people wasn't going to keep signing the petition over and over again. Next up, coming off those nice Armenian signatures, we have a fine example of a scribal petition. You can look at how regular this handwriting is, but you also begin to notice some of the inconsistencies. You can see very nicely someone going in and correcting inconsequence there in different ink. Same with solemn oath, and then several insertions where the scribe has not quite allowed enough room from the original. This is a particularly interesting petition of a Tamil merchant in Madras asking for a particular grievance to be solved. I also like it because you have the proxy signature here. You have in sort of parentheses, the in place of signature, the name of the merchant, and then the actual Tamil signature, which may have been done by one of the Tamil scribes, or who knows, even by the merchant himself. Again, I think this demonstrates one of the ways we need to look, especially at early modern manuscripts, a little more critically. I think a lot of times talking to students coming right at a manuscript like this, you would say, this is fantastic. This Tamil merchant has fantastic command of English and is amazing handwriting, and look at this petition he's delivered directly to the governor, when in fact, the original petition may have been done by a professional scribe and then copied and recopied and cleaned up and then circulated to various members of the council at Madras, and you can even see this one is even docketed as a duplicate as a petition delivered to the board at Madras. Now, finally, I've been talking sort of about the material context of these petitions. I like this last one because of its content. This is one of these petitions you love to see. It's also a copy, but nonetheless important, of a petition of the Shaving Barbers of Madras.
Sounds
that
like
is,
a singing group or something.
yeah, like a cappella.
Yes.
We, the barbers, consisting of 80 in number and employed by the gentlemen of the settlement, implore leave to address your lordship, and they're complaining here about the grain allowed to them. Interestingly, you can see in this copy, the scribe has decided to note, instead of signatures of the barbers, we have 25 barbers shaving for the gentlemen and soldiers in the fort, 15 barbers shaving for the gentlemen in the Black Town, 12 barbers shaving for the King's Hospital in the Black Town, and 8 barbers shaving for the company in the Black Town. Again, not enumerating names, but the scribe here has decided that their volume of petitioners is more important here than their actual names, a marked contrast from many of the petitions bearing prominent merchants, or especially European merchants and East India Company employees, who again are accorded their actual names copied and to be given that kind of respect and weight. Whereas here, when this was delivered to the board at Madras, they merely noted it's a lot of barbers. These are almost certainly non-European barbers who, again, are going to be addressed at the board as a group. And this, I think, is just a great example of the real lived experience that you can get out of looking at such a variety of petitions and that you really wouldn't see in other sources. So I'm really glad to demonstrate it here today and at least talk a little about the potential of these 18th century manuscripts.
Yes. Thank you very much, Mitch.
Thanks, Todd.